Of the evening, Invictus Gaming now on the blue side and King over on the red. Casted in the ban there from IG, and King, you know what? They're not going to do it again. They already banned it.
And look, Cal actually looked very good on Italy, so it's a respect ban there, but it does spare us one of those wonky Italy comps.
I mean, you know what? If MLXG is like, I'm not comfortable, take it away. I don't want to be tempted by it. And they'll put it there as their first ban. Another second there for IG as well. And King going to consider what they want their second, and that's Jana already picked up.
One thing I'm just actually thinking about is that Kalista fell through the bans and picks last game. It's been so often contested, either banned or first pick. I don't think it fits as a first pick. Obviously, when Kalista goes off, she really goes off, as we saw from Uzi. So, be interested to see if we do see a Kalista here. Not really the kid kind of champion. He's really been focusing that Corki and those more mid-game focused picks. And look, with IG's recent push to really be on top of the mid-game, to be on top of the rotations, makes sense.
Yeah, we'll have to see. There is Rumble actually going to get the ban there as well. So, bit of respect to Sky. Definitely a seasoned Rumble player there as well. One of his better performing champions. But quite a lot, as always, going to drop through the draft here. Lysandra still open right now. Jarvan, who's fallen off a little bit, going to be open there as well. And looks like Rek'Sai, which was actually banned last game, might also be open.
Yeah, so it'd be a pretty obvious last ban here, but it's flexible. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, we'll have to see. King got 10 seconds now to decide, see what they do want to go with, and I'm curious to what they think. Maybe the Ahri, actually, which they didn't ban out. That's actually something we should point out. Maybe King wants to ban that out instead. I wonder if they don't, whether Rookie will snap it off. And Jarvan is the ban, so IG, if they want it, can blind pick the Ahri now.
There's almost no downside to the blue side first pick Ahri. Of course, if you can leave it to a later rotation, wonderful, but it's just such a safe blind pick. Unless they have something they're really looking to double down on, maybe the Vi that's been so hotly contested, why not go with Ahri? And you can see why they're at least hovering it.
Yeah, and there's also Lysandra open as well. Lysandra quite good against Ahri just because she is so mobile, so being able to stop that helps you a lot when trying to take her out.
Yeah, and obviously harder to assassinate the Lysandra as well because she can ultimate herself. So they've already shown it here. They were happy to at least hover the pick, but Kakao's Lee Sin has been really interesting. It's actually the first game that IG really started to shift their playstyle was when we saw the farming Lee Sin jungle by Kakao against OMG, just because they had Rookie on Yasuo on that game. They were happy to farm it out and then have Rookie really go off in team fights thanks to that Lee Sin. You know, they was actually focusing the warrior enchant, going for a much later Sightstone just so that he could duel the enemy jungler and be stronger in fights. It's not the skirmish level 3, level 4 Lee Sin that we've seen from other people, but it works for Kakao and IG.
Yeah, Kakao is, of course, traditionally a very aggressive player. Going to take the Lee Sin here. He can play it aggressively, but again, he's been shaking it up a lot. And I wonder if they're baiting King into an Ahri pick here, because you don't really hover a champion like that unless you're trying to kind of tease someone, and that's what they take. Morgana and Ahri are the first two picks for King.
Yeah, strong mind games with the hovers there. You have to think, given how long they hovered it, there's no need to show a champion if you're not going to lock it in. That's the reality of the thing. So maybe it is the Lysandra that we're going to see as kind of a counter, because it could even be a Lysandra top and just have that flexibility to ult the diving Ahri in a team fight. So Lysandra's available, the Maokai's available too, and of course this is Pokemon we're talking about, why not return him to the Maokai?
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon, as you mentioned, not that comfortable on a champion like Lysandra. Does favor much more of those tanks, so likely going to take his favorite Maokai in here. I feel like if Lysandra was picked for that top lane, that Pokemon's probably okay with that matchup as well.
He probably would be. I mean, it's a pretty even matchup, a lot of wave clear between the two of them. You're right in that Lysandra wouldn't fit his playstyle, but pretty binary champion. You don't need too many special mechanics to be a good Lysandra player, so I could see Pokemon picking up given his penchant for Aurelia and Gnar and other champions, but safer to go with the Maokai.
Yeah, going to take Maokai. Thresh there, actually, so two very strong picks coming through for IG Kitties. Like a lot of the Chinese support players, very proficient on the Thresh, and King making me smile here with a couple of these hovers, but seems like Woosh seriously considering Corki at least, but they've got 10 seconds to decide now.
I mean, it's been such a standard Kid pick in wins that I like the idea of taking it away from Kid. He does have champions he plays against it. The Caitlyn, which I was just about to mention, is one of his standards. He could go for more of an even matchup. The Caitlyn would definitely be the lane bully type, and that's just been the role Kid's been playing. So I'd kind of expect the Caitlyn, but you know Kid, he's always got the pocket vein, the pocket picks. He could go hyper carry flavor, it just hasn't been his standard. He hasn't been forced onto it in the LPL.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he does want. We had Aurelia Corki, of course, for King's last two, and IG going to finish their draft here soon as well. 10 seconds left to see if they want those champions, and that would be round out their comp in a pretty interesting way. And King, of course, saving their top pick, it looks like now as well. So, oh, sorry, the jungle pick, actually. That's a bit weird, and please do it. This is exactly what I'm hoping you would do. Rookie is going to take Yasuo again.
There's nothing to wake up pastry time like a last pick Yasuo coming through here to round out the comp. A lot of knock-up synergy between Maokai. as we were speaking about before, the Lee Sin from Kakao. Even Thresh has a knock-up as well, so there's a lot of options for this Yasuo. And actually, Kid in an interview yesterday said very clearly that he likes to have the Ezreal in the matchup against Corki. He wasn't even sure himself how it would go, but he was happy with the results. Of course, Corki doesn't push as hard as a Sivir, so you don't have a really hard lane matchup in terms of wave management. But it's still difficult. You still have to be really on top of that Ezreal. Yeah,
and MLXG, last pick in the Rek'Sai there as well. So pretty strong jungler actually dropping through. Still popular in the LPL. Not quite the force she was in the patch before, but still very good here. So MLXG probably happy there with that one. But IG, this is an IG comp through and through.
I mean, there is still that potential that Rek'Sai, if she gets ahead, maybe they can actually capitalize on all the scouting reports we've heard about King, how strong they are in the early game. If you can get ahead on Rek'Sai, get map control, get the pinks down, then build up a huge neural network, you can be ever present across the map and be so, so strong. So if King are able to play assertively in the early game, because they're against an Ezreal, going to be scaling up slowly, Maokai is going to be scaling, Yasuo's base stats mean that he's not quite the same force in the mid game, at least King are able to play proactive and try something here, at least with the comp they've chosen.
Yeah, and I like what King's doing, of course. It's, again, really hit or miss for them. I feel like they only win or lose 2-0 or 0-2. So to actually pick up a split here against a team like IG would be very good for them.
It'd be a big result, but with the mid-game picks, with the flavor we've seen, they've got the Corki, they've got the Ahri. They have very strong mid-game champions that are at least setting them up. They're at least looking to play proactive rather than picking the Dr. Mundos and choosing the late-game options.
Yeah, and that was sort of the thing that undid King a little bit there in that last game. And they showed some really strong team-fighting prowess, but just could not convert in the later stages of the game. It's very difficult.
I mean, they were hamstrung by their comp. There wasn't engage options. They were looking for an engage. They got the counter engage a few times, but they could never make it happen. It's on them this time. If they can make it happen, they could take a win here.
Well, let's see if they can. We're getting right into our last game. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rift on our last game of the evening. Week 5 of the LPL is almost at a close, and Invictus Gaming would love to take home the full 3 points here as well. They're up a game against King here in, again, our last game of the evening. We'll see if King No can answer back with a very aggressive comp.
And keeping the trend of skill matchups for Ahri going, it's the Ahri versus Yasuo matchup. It's a very difficult one for Yasuo. In the early levels, he'll eat a lot of auto attack harass. He'll have a lot of damage to worry about, but if you can be really on point with the wind wall and dash in and around it, you can negate so much of Ahri's damage in a trade fight.
You really can, and one of the things here as well, you know, Rookie's Yasuo was fantastic. You already mentioned that it pairs so well with the Lee Sin that Kakao and Rookie have already shown not just in their former time in Korea, but here in China now as well. But this is a very different patch for Yasuo. The crit on Infinity Edge, a big change for his build path.
And Ezreal actually fits the comp better than I first thought about, just because at the end of the day, they've got a dive comp. Pokemon on the Maokai, Lee Sin and Rookies, Yasuo especially, are going to be going in for that big AoE knock-up wombo. Having a very mobile Ezreal in the backline is probably going to be the blue Ezreal, though we have seen Kid mix it up with the Mana Moon into Trinity Force. Maybe that's probably the better pickup here just because they have so many scaling champions. They might not want to go all in on scaling into the 25-30 minute mark. But IG have a smart comp around the Yasuo pick.
Yeah, and just moving through as well, we are going to see some standard jungle starts here. Kakao going to go Krugs into blue, actually with the help of Pokemon. So a lane swap has been initiated here by IG, and King going to go ahead with Gromp into blue there. So pretty standard stuff on both sides. Both jungles will start on the same side of the jungle.
And it seems like Sky's actually been surprised by this lane swap. We actually saw on the mini-map, Thresh was really aggressively autoing and harassing Sky out of the 1v2 situation. So Sky's actually going to look for the very late jungle follow, or go straight to the bottom for a fast, which I have to imagine is going to be a jungle follow. And because she's delayed, it's going to take a lot longer to get to level 2.
Yeah, and Lame kind of check out to see what happens. Gets the bad news. Red already done, and the double jungle has started there. So going to get some decent vision. Might be able to harass them as we move through the mid, though. Actually, Lame going to move back in here as well. He's done a good job here early on, using Yasuo's very effective level 1 and 2 to harass Zadara, but that will change quite quickly in that lane.
Liam was actually, with skilling pool first, able to take 3 of the small minions, and of course experience is divided very differently in this new jungle, so it takes a lot of experience away from the jungle follow. It's not quite enough to close things down on Sky, who's lost a lot of experience from just being top lane when he shouldn't have been. but it does help things out.
It does indeed here. As Rookie's actually started with a longsword here in this lane. So we mentioned that Yasuo's build part probably going to look quite different here on this particular patch after the Infinity Edge change. What do you make of this starting item, Papa Smithy?
It could just be a quick Vamp Scepter moving maybe the Bilgewater build. That would be my guess. There are other options. I don't think it's going to be a Brutalizer. That would be something definitely out of left field, but Yasuo, he has a lot of flexibility. Picking up an early Vamp Scepter, he's going to eat a lot of auto attack harass from Assassin. So maybe instead of starting the Doran Shield to negate some of that damage, just go straight for that lifesteal.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, a bit more of an aggressive choice, but the potion's going to help you here anyway. And Rookie off to a decent start. Again, Assassin going to struggle in the early levels here. But Yasuo, one of the weirdo champions, kind of functions like your standard 80 hyper carries. Decent early, kind of like Tristan Caitlyn. Mid-game power drop, good late.
I feel like there's still potential to eat a lot of damage in this 1v1 early if you don't play it aggressively. And Rookie got to level 2 first, has been completely trying to harass out Assassin. I think he's almost bluffing lane power in this situation, because if he plays aggressively, if he just keeps going around the map, disregards ganks, he could be important, but MXG's in there.
Yeah, that was a sick knock up there as well. Rookie gets the dash cancel, does dodge the charm though, and will be safe, and now saves all the summoners, but great pressure by the Rek'Sai.
Worth knowing, we didn't even mention this, he has elected for the exhaust pickup. It saved his life more likely there, as the knock up, as you said, was very astute coming through from MXG.
Yeah, love that summoner spell choice there as well. Just makes your life so much easier, does help you with some of your damage as well, almost adds to your ulti with the armor reduction there as well. And Rookie gonna dance around here, but down the bottom, Pokemon and Kitties in a very odd 2v2 lane, looking good actually. And the poor top lane is often the case in these situations, kind of stranding for farming, about 10 each.
And kind of the interesting thing about Yasuo is that, okay, if traditionally on a champion, if you don't have Ignite for kill secures, you might think that just gives you less kill pressure. But because Yasuo can be so aggressive, because once he gets the exhaust down, he gets so many more autos in, and he's a very auto-attack focused champion, he doesn't lose that much not picking up Ignite, because it's just so hard to kite someone that has multiple gap closes when minions are around. That exhaust just gives you that option for that secondary knock-up. Exhaust is very flexible and a smart choice on Rookie's Yasuo.
Pokemon gets saved there as well. MLXG down to the bottom, exerting a lot of pressure early on in this Rex. They're actually a bit behind Kakao by about 1 to 2 camps there, so ganking rather aggressively, good pressure, but both times just a 1 summoner spell there by Rookie in the mid lane.
It's very interesting to see this top matchup of Ezreal versus Aurelia. You just know that Aurelia can eventually turn on the pressure this lane and just try and battle Kid. If she can be smart and get the Equilibrium Strike first, force out the Arcane Shift and then follow, there is actually significant kill pressure. But under the turret, trying to auto these minions, obviously going to eat a lot of harass.
Yeah, and Kid very comfy, as you said. You already mentioned that he feels reasonably okay in the Corki matchup, despite it being maybe a little awkward in the early stages. Fine here in the 1v1 as well. Ezreal, a very competent laner.
And there's the Equilibrium Strike max, so not going to have just as much on-hit healing, whether on the active or the passive there. Won't have quite the same level 9 power spike, but if there is a jungle gank, and we've already seen the MOXG can be very innovative on the use of the Unborrow on this Rek'Sai, then there could definitely be kill pressure on top.
Yeah, almost Shaco-esque ganks here, just darting through walls here and setting up really good angles here. And Pokemon could be in trouble. He actually, I believe, knows that some members of King are there, does have a ward there in that bush. So Pokemon knows what's up, but that's actually 3 people still. Maybe even looking for a dive now on the poor Maokai.
Yeah, Maokai is very precarious. No defensive wards really down, so a lot of this completely unbeknownst to the Maokai, but looks like for now they're going to back away.
Yeah, and Pokemon just going to collect the farm as they come in. Kakao actually in the top as well. Very long way around. They already used there by Kid. Kakao actually misses the first Q though, and Kiddies is also here. So Sky gets away with that.
A lot of resources committed both top and bot, and across the map, no global pressure able to be exerted, just with the skill shots missing and the flavor.
Well, I was checking there as well, trying to figure out what had happened if a Rookie does have an Avarice Blade. And just to let you know, we were thinking about build and what's changed. Rookie is running 0 crit runes.
No crit whatsoever. I guess with the percentage changes, maybe there's a more there's a different way to build this. Yeah, so maybe even a Phantom Dancer coming in later with the recent buffs to Phantom Dancer. Doesn't give him as many crit options in lane, obviously. He has to pick up the Avarice Blade to have any crit. But during all this discussion, MOXG picks up the dragon.
Yeah, so strong dragon there from King. Rek'Sai again exerting control. Kitty's in trouble. Flay goes back, but Sky gets first blood, and Rookie is rotating in. He's used the wing wall there. He's going to go back in. Kakao doesn't have his ulti to help, and Rookie does nail the ulti. Going to go back in. Kid with the damage there as well. They should be able to pick up Sky, but he's taking a lot of damage. Rookie finally gets the kill.
And this is a return of the old IG with a really crazy turret dive. We saw it out of EDG in Game 1 of this weekend when they went overly aggressive with a turret dive on a Maokai. It's much the same story as Aurelia. If you mess it up, you will give up first blood. And Kitty's dying with flash up to the turret hit there. Just poor mechanical play from IG's support.
Yeah, so they get the kill, but it's a little risky. The MLXG very low at the blue, but Assassin will get it over, and let's see the dive again.
We'll see the replay here. Of course, it's just taking a turret hit that he had no right to, and just dies to the turret, which is really awkward. Then the juggling begins, and Cacaw's already eaten so much damage, goes in on the Q, and takes turret aggro again, a second mistaken aggro take. They are eventually able to close out the kill with all the gap close coming through from Rookie, but that's really, really sloppy play from IG.
Yeah, Rookie almost got lucky that the cannon creep was in the right spot to be able to dash to. Otherwise, Sky might have gotten out of the way. So Rookie will take it. He's gotten a kill there from the roam, and didn't fall too far behind in CS since returning to the lane. But Sky on this Aurelia already done with the Phage. The King mid-game Kong looking good in the early stages.
Yeah, and CS is very even though Aurelia's eaten so much harass. Has the Phage, has many more options than the Maokai. Maokai's Rod of Ages looks like it's going to be significantly delayed. You can tell that with the secondary Doran Ring pickup, where Sky building for the late game.
Yeah, building it towards his first major item, that Trinity Force, which Aurelia benefits from so much here. So looking strong. We've actually broken back into standard lanes, lost track a little of the lane swaps there, but we actually are going to have the 2v2. Ezreal come back with a Sheen now. Looks like Kid actually might be going for a pretty fast Trinity Force.
It's actually the first time I believe that we've seen an Ezreal completely opt out of a tier. Maybe the second time. I think maybe Kid has done it once before. It just shows that IG are aware of the fact that there's a lot of mid-game pressure coming out from the King. So they're just trying to counter it a little bit by going for the more aggressive early flavor with the Trinity Force.
Yeah, and they've got a bit of late game insurance here as well with Rookies. Yeah, so the MLXG going to go in. Assassin going to dive back in. Rookie, we're going to go down. He actually out. He's going to live. Cacao comes back in. Rookie finally dies. Good flash. Assassin gets out of the way, but that was a good never mind. Making it 2 kills there. Cacao gets the double.
Insane outplay coming up. The fact that Cacao got the kick in allowed Yasuo to live long enough for the last breath. A 2-for-1 in that situation from what looked like a completely dead Yasuo. Unbelievable from IG. We see the replay here. Just watch how low Rookie falls before Cacao gets the kick. Instant last breath. Teleports him out of the REQ, the Orb of Deception. Almost dies instantly to the ultimate, but weaves in the Q there, does the Lee Sin. Man, that KD rolls to arrows duo, they're pretty good.
The synergy is real here. Pokemon in trouble. They're skydiving in. Great flash, though, by Pokemon to get him out from under the Equilibrium Strike. And he'll live on a smidgen of health, but he will be alive.
After a long, drawn-out series, it's exciting when we see just a huge burst of life coming in 10 minutes into this game. The Yasuo pick, we kind of felt that this was going to be a different type of game. But damn if it's not exciting.
It is. IG looking a little bit like the old school IG here, but with a very new touch here with Rookie and Cacao. And Yasuo, again, I called it their insurance policy, but IG right now playing very aggressively with the champion.
So, of course, with the nerfs, I believe, is that 20% critical strike coming out of the static shift? So it is at 40% critical strike. It would be an even 100% with the Phantom Dancer, but you have to think Infinity Edge coming in as Rookie's in trouble.
Yeah, he is in trouble. There can he outplay one more time? Assassin going in, Cacao, gonna fight it again. Teleports over to MLXG, and Rookie gets the first kill and gonna walk away from Assassin. Sky, though, has poured it in to get the kill. Cacao can't save him this time.
This IG mid-jungle duo deserve better, Patreon. The outplays are so real between the two of them. The last breath always opens up so much movement in the mid. Pokemon comes to relieve pressure. But King, they're going to pick up the objective.
Yeah, they are going to get the tower. Pokemon going to move in, maybe try and find a pick, but Lame is there to deny any sort of CC, and the tower does fall there. King get the first of the game. It's the mid turret.
So we see the replay once again, and again it looks like Rookie will die so early, but he opens up movement. Cacao comes in, and what happens next? Just beautiful poetry in motion as they manage to get the shield reset right there. Sky comes in, gets the kill. Kills the fun a little bit.
And the sickest thing about Sky's teleport, that was on top of a Rek'Sai tunnel that MLXG have put down. So both of these teams really going at it.
They're trying to stack the deck on Rookie. He's 2-2-2. The fact that he's not 0-2-0 is just unbelievable.
Yeah, really strong play again. The old KTRO's mid and jungle duo looking very strong here as well in this new team here in China. Kid comfortably farming up through as well. Actually should check in with the bottom lane with all that action mid. 95 to 120 CS. Woosh actually very far ahead on this Corki, but both working towards Trinity Forces and going to be there at reasonable times. That's a good hook there as well. The binding does come in the one of Kitty's. Woosh now could be in trouble, but Kid finds a good double ulti. Going to move in now. Lay him though with a great soul shackles. Going to force both flashes and looks like Arcane Shift was used there for Kid, so they blink out of the way and the 2v2 yields no kills.
It is always a mistake to try and out-duel a Trinity Force user like Corki. Corki uses all the stats from the constituent items so well. Now that the Q double scales, it's just insane how much efficiency he gets even before the Trinity Force is completed. Ezreal is a Trinity Force champion, but he doesn't get anywhere near the same purchase as Corki does, and you cannot opt into those trades.
Yeah, Whoosh now finished his Trinity Force as well, and Dragon is back in 10 seconds. So King going to look to take their second in this particular game, and things have certainly changed from the last game we saw with both these teams going at it here, and IG kind of back to some old form here, but King, to their credit, playing into them.
Our first instinct is correct. It is going to be the Vamp Scepter picked up. We're not sure if that's going to be Blade of the Ruin King. Could even be a Bloodthirster if he needs a defensive option, and with the amount of crosshairs on him this game, might not be the worst pickup.
Yeah, Rookie, I mean, you just need to get attack speed capped for your Q on Yasuo, so if you go Merc Treads, you need Blade. If you go BT, you need Berserker Grief. So it's a matter of how defensive you want to be with your boots, but King instead going to take this next Dragon here, and IG don't look like they can fight.
Yeah, actually, they are positioning aggressively, but didn't realistically look to commit. King pick up their second Dragon. They're playing to their comp's win conditions, which is good. And look, IG don't have that Trinity Force on Ezreal. They do not want to be opting into fights against a Trinity Force Corki.
Yeah, and we've seen it time and time again. When teams go into other teams against the Trinity Force Corki, they always pay the price. So smart from IG not to opt into that, but King are going to look for their third Dragon in just over the 20-21 minute mark here. So again, a fast-paced game here, but King have set it very well. The gold is even, but King have a tower and 2 Dragons.
But the jungle pressure from Kakao and just the synergy between those duos is what's really keeping King, IG in touching distance against King. Because you look at the items here, Pokemon's still waiting on that Rod of Ages. If we look at the gold, still about 400 gold away from completing it. So the power spike is going to be very delayed in this Maokai, probably going to be 26 to 27 minutes. Ezreal's not as good a Trinity Force user as Corki, and will have it at a much later clip. So across the map, the scaling is happening in top and bot against IG. It's only the fact that they're keeping competitive in the mid lane that's really keeping them close in this game, because it could have been a huge hole for IG to come back from.
It could have been credit to Kakao and Rookie really playing well together, sort of as we expect in Kakao. That sort of aggression reflected in his build this time around. We talked about Control Sin, not this time. He does have the Sight Stone, of course. He's got the Warrior and Champ, but he's also picked up a Brutalizer as well. He's
always been trying to get the Warrior really early to duel. It helps, obviously, when you see crazy fights like we've seen before. Doubling down on the Brutalizer, again, it's mid-game power, and this could be a fight.
Kakao eats a charm. They're going to dive. No, Assassin are going to dive back in. Kakao has to be so careful. Windmill's already down, but the knock comes in. They actually let MLXG, the rookie, ports away with the last threat, but Assassin gets a kill. Now Kitty's coming in, and Pokemon has dived down the back as well. Dark Lightning will be eaten there by Kitties, and Rookie can't really go back in. Lando's going to pop his ulti and go straight in amongst the Kitties. Going to look so low here. Assassin, nothing he can do but get the kill. Does take out the next one. Going to get Pokemon here as well. And Rookie has to sit and watch. Eats a Dark Binding, and Assassin might make it a triple. Rookie flushes out. There's a chump. Great Windwall to protect him. Kids in now here as well, but King won that trade.
For once, Kakao bites off more than he can chew in the mid lane, trying to go aggressive. You could see, even as he was eating damage, he was trying to orb walk forward to get that big kick off for the Wombo. That's going to be a death.
Nice binding there on the Kid as well. Whoosh with the kill.
I didn't even notice the binding. It weaved between a few minions there. Just was the death sentence, pun intended, on Kid. They pick up the turret, back away, and King, you know, we've been so excited for IG. They've shown nice mechanics, but King are opening up a sizable lead.
Yeah, you know, if the mid lane's looking good for IG, it's not been bad for King, and the other two lanes look so strong for them as well. That gold lead's ticking up now, 4,000 gold ahead. Liam, though, going to get tagged by Kakao. Kakao going to move back in. Lantern out there. Whoosh, way too powerful.
I mean, Ari's also able to build very confidently into the Morellonomicon. Now the Zhonya's. The build path is very simple for Ari. She can focus on the armor, and there's the snipe.
Kid 6 snipe finds Lame and gets himself a kill.
Sometimes the no-scopes really are easy pastry time, as they got the static Morgana right there.
Yeah, Trinity Force done there for Kid, so he'll take a bit of extra gold there. And seems like MLXG going to farm out some of his jungle, and down the bottom lane, actually. Rookie's gone into split push mode. He's got almost his Bloodthirst to finish, which seems like the build he's going to go for, and just rips through those minions.
So very difficult for Wushin to deal with this Yasuo, especially considering the fact there's a red buff, and double especially. That's great English, but double especially because he's got no mana.
There's also many members of IG down here. So actually Assassin going to get hooked there. Kakao going to find it in, but Kitty's just going to use the Lantern. That's going to force Sky to teleport. Actually cancels it, so we're going to get a bit of a reduction there. But this bottom tower under heavy threat by Invictus Gaming.
So we have a teleport advantage for Pokemon. Obviously Dragon's a few minutes away, so he might actually have it up for that objective, which could be significant. IG finally going to get on the turret score here with their first. They're behind a couple of thousand gold, but again, the comp is significantly in the advantage in the mid game for King right here, so they are able to scale up a bit, and Cacal's going in.
He's dodging every skill shot, but he hit Liam there. Black Shield perfectly timed by Morgana.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a killjoy with that Black Shield. No last breath available. Up top, Pokemon has that Rod of Ages, but significantly delayed, and Liam is going in.
Yeah, Lamb actually doesn't want to go in. Rookie ate a little too much damage there in the mid lane, and Morgana almost goes down, so IG might just try and pressure out this turret. Whoosh has to be very careful. He does not want to eat a tornado. He gets close to that one, but Rookie has gotten poked down quite low here, and Whoosh will defend the mid turret.
Yeah, Kid is actually rotating. There's a big tussle up in top lane, but probably not going to be able to get to as Sky backs off.
Yeah, Pokemon there a little weak right now, honestly, against Irelia, with the Rod of Ages only recently finished up, and Sky's really putting it to him. Pokemon has to be careful here. Yeah,
the Frozen Heart is definitely the gold standard for Pokemon in terms of a second item. It's against an Irelia, obviously already wonderful in that matchup, but even though Corki's a caster AD, it's relevant against basically 4 members of King's Comp, so it'd be very nice to pick up that Frozen Heart, but given how late the Rod of Ages is, Frozen Heart's going to be similarly delayed.
Yeah, and Pokemon, you know, who's had so many strong, consistent games for IG recently, last one certainly included, a little bit behind here on the Maokai. It's his big champion. We always see him come up big on it, but right now he's definitely struggling for a bit of early gold. And IG are trying to make it up in other areas, but they just don't have the power yet. Yasuo is still scaling up. Cacao is pretty much all early game with this Lee Sin, now transitioning to be a bit more of a frontliner. Ezreal's still scaling up with his Trinity Force. I mean, thank God Kid didn't go blue build this game.
I mean, it's kind of disorganized strategically from IG, which has, again, been a bit, which has been their strong suit for the last few series. If you think about it, the last time we saw a real scaling comp coming through from IG, it was a very passive Cacao. They allow people to farm up. They're obviously against a team with significant advantages against them in the mid game, but they have been brawling a lot in the mid lane. Maybe that's just Cacao trying to relieve pressure from, say, the Corki Ezreal lane by causing so much pressure in the mid, forcing this Rek'Sai to respond. But IG, they're going for something fun
They're
here.
going in. Sky just going to walk past it. No, doesn't have a Drinker Ward or any wards to put in. Sky going to meander around the Baron, but IG immediately pull off. Looks like King did know what was going on, but that was an attempt at an on-spawn Baron.
Yeah, the Baron, of course, has been nerfed this patch. It is easier to do earlier. That was definitely even more than I expected. With the win wall, they probably could have put down a couple when was done some action, but Cacao's going in.
Cacao is going in, gets Charm though. That's a great move there. Third Dragon also going over to King, but IG have to make the best of the situation. Can't find an engagement. Assassin going to go in. The box gets popped there. We're going to look for some bindings, but Rookie charging up that Q might look for a flank here as well. Little too risky though. Just those Tornado on IG. Completely out of position now.
Yeah, King managed to get position with all the AoE wave clear coming through from Assassin and Wushin. With the base gets the slightly more defensive options, but King's going in.
Yeah, they found Kitties at MLXG. Another great knock-up, and Pokemon gets bound there as well. MLXG going to face check in Cacao. Nowhere he can go. Good ulti there from Kid. Rookie going to move in there, but he can't quite find enough ulti targets. Going to look for it, but he's got no Q charged up. He does go back in Cacao. Good kick there, but it's not enough there. And King is just going off in this fight. 4 kills for 2. Make it 5 as Kid's going down. He'll get the trade. He might survive, but does go down. 5-3 King.
Crazy skirmish power coming out from King. In any skirmish, having the likes of Irelia, Rek'Sai, Ari, and Corki, always wonderful in 2v2s. Same story on those unorganized 4v4s in the enemy jungle, weaving in and out of vision. They play it very well. IG, you almost saw the Wombo come back. They didn't have quite enough damage. We'll see the replay. They get the first pick on Kitties. That should have been the disengage, but Pokemon eats a binding. And just watch all the dueling power. You can see Cacao, he's waiting to look for the big last breath, but Rookie's already low in health. So the re-engage kind of cost the team here. There's just so much skirmish AoE damage coming from MLX, so you can see him just activating that Rek'Sai, doing so much damage. They pick up the Ezreal. Ezreal picks up a kill at the end, but King, they're always going to win in those unorganized fights.
Yeah, and they've got a good lead here. 4,000 gold ahead and 3 dragons. Can't forget that IG still don't have their first in this particular game. King really far ahead on that matchup. Looking down the gold as well. Mid pretty even, jungle pretty even. Top though, big edge there for Sky. And the bottom starting to creep up there as well. So King, lots of power in honestly one of their best looking players in Sky.
And Kid has really doubled down on the poke here. They've gone for the Trinity Force Last Whisper. This was a Wei Zhao special years ago. It was very powerful in a poke-orientated meta, but in all the team fighting and skirmishing that's happening now, you just don't have the same sort of right-click damage. You don't have the damage modifiers to do a lot of damage in a fight, so he's going to be all about getting down poke and then just hoping for a fortuitous last breath coming out of Rookie.
Yeah, and after that fight, King looking good with some 2-item power spikes. Frozen Heart done for Sky. We've got Zhonya's and the blasting one up for Assassin as well. Randuin's even completed for MLXG, who's done so much work, looking for a Thornmail as well. Rookie not going to have a good time against that jungler.
I mean, just across the board, Trinity Force Frozen Heart completed for Aurelia. You cannot opt into a fight with King at this point. There's too many big item power spikes coming in. Hell, a big one coming onto Liam very soon. He's got the Needless Large Rod towards Azonia's as another engage option for their team. King, we're gonna boss around the big game here. That's what they've picked for, but these items, so much power coming out of King.
Yeah, the BT even for Corki as well. Such a big spike there, Rookie. Will collect what CS he can, but doesn't really want to fight anyone head-to-head. Still farming. Actually does have his Infinity Edge now, so looking a little bit better there on that front, but still needs to get up here, and I believe not quite there for the crit threshold yet. Yeah, still actually sitting at 80.
It's sitting at 80%. I'm not sure how itemized for the last 20% or 10% from items that he'll require. It's a bit awkward in terms of item power spikes for Yasuo on this patch. You could, of course, double down on crit runes and get there with the 10%, but you sacrifice so many stats that it makes it just laning that much harder.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they're doing up for. IG going to rotate in, defend their tier 2 turret. Sky down the bottom, they're pushing very heavily on his Aurelia, so looking to pressure that turret here. And IG only to find a couple fights, but King is splitting up very well here and keeping up decent vision control, especially in towards the top side.
Because Pokemon's so behind in items, he's not really in a position to be able to counter push against Sky. Even though he has teleport, they haven't opted to send Pokemon down until just now at the last second. He'll show up to find this inner turret down, opens the gold lead even further for King. 6,500 is the gold lead now, and Pokemon, we've spent so much time over the past few weeks praising him for his smart rotational play, an excellent play on Maokai, but he's really struggling playing from behind against this Aurelia.
Yeah, just not looking good right now. Still looking for his next major item. Does have the roll that's going to stack up as well, but needs, you know, the Frozen Heart, like you mentioned, just has a cloth armor towards that right now, so struggling a little bit. Assassin also gets the blue buff there as well. Ari looking real nice here for the King lineup as well. And again, have advantages across the board. Lamb even finished up the Zonyas now as well. IG playing on the back foot and have been doing so for a while.
And the scary thing is, you look at the items, you know, this is of course a rookie on this Yasuo mid. There's very little magic damage coming out from Invictus Gaming, and they're doubling down on armor. Frozen Heart and the Ninja Tabi coming out from Aurelia. Already Aranduin's coming out from Rek'Sai. Zonya's completed on both the support and the mid laner. Only Corki doesn't have armor at this point, but the front line is going to be so hard for IG to really even have a team influencing last breath, even with the 50% armor penetration from items. It's a lot of work for a rookie to do in a fight.
Yeah, and Assassin even going tanker in his build. Well, it wasn't the Void stuff that we might expect to see. He's actually going for a Rylai's Crystal Scepter there as his third item.
There's not a lot of magic resistance. Rylai's has always been a wonderful pickup on Ahri just because her Foxfire counts as a single target spell each time. So 35% slow, reapplying 3 times. Probably actually has an implied duration of about 3 seconds as it keeps reapplying for that 1.5 seconds. It's a good choice. Flat health in this situation, not bad at all.
Yeah, and King looking for their 4th straight dragon here as well. IG don't really have the tools to defend, so if they can find a pick or a decent flank, they might go in for it. But IG going to struggle to contest, and they have to contest.
They really do. Kid is very split from his team. So is Sky, but this Aurelia is huge.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon just going to face tank, but Sky not really worried at this point. Just going to dash off to a minion, and IG will reset the fight a little bit.
I see Sky they're trying to get 5 here, King. They know that in a 5v5, barring a miracle, and we've seen a couple of them this game already from IG, they should be just fine.
I mean, Kakal's got to try and find something. Rookie going to touch it. Kakao going to go in. Looks for the kick, but gets stunned up already. The Dragon does go over to Rek'Sai, and now MLXG going to dive back in. Kakao getting so low there as well, and there's the first going to Lee Sin. Kid just getting bullied around by Sky in the backlines as well, and the rest of King going to dive, and Rookie, 4-man ulti, but it's not enough here. Yasuo, too little, too late. Kiddy's going to go down, and there's the ace for King.
And at that point, Aurelia was able to completely sit on top of Kid and trivialize him from the fight. On my screen, I saw the chase counter flashed over, negated the Ezreal completely, and again, in the 4v4, it's just massively in King's advantage.
It really is, and then the rush over to Baron now as well, look to take that. IG had a poke at it at 20 minutes, but King are going to secure it very easily here. Kakao probably not even up in time to look to try and smite Sid. It's just going to die too quickly, and King, with this pickup, going to shoot 10,000 gold ahead.
And as much as Rookie's Yasuo pick fit the comp, there was a synergy towards it. It's really pigeonholed them into a situation where they fall behind, and King are able to stack on the armor, even a Thorn Mail added on top of the Randuins here for MLXG. It just doesn't look like there's a way back into this game for IG.
Yeah, it's going to take, you know, we talk about one miracle around that dragon fight. It's going to take maybe a few more than just one at this point. Invictus Gaming, we talked about how strong they looked playing around their comps, playing around their win conditions. couldn't find a way to do it this game, it feels like.
No, after some excellent duels, the sort of things that will be highlighted in a YouTube clip, in terms of actual points, doesn't feel like they're going to be able to pick up too many from this game.
We'll have to see. MLXG, I have to say, has done so much work on this Rek'Sai. I think IG might have been the team that banned it in game 1, and I can kind of see why.
And look, they've actually managed to double down on the early game. They finally lived up to the hype of their early game control. They've got excellent rotations. They're significantly ahead in turrets, 5-2. And the neural network, you just look at the minimap, littered with red tunnels here is Rek'Sai. He has so many defensive options. Okay, it's very hard to expand that to offensive options in the enemy jungle, but the moment you see a neural network extending to the enemy jungle, the game's probably over.
Yeah, I mean, Rek'Sai just gives you so much control when it starts creeping on the other side of the map. Things are looking bad here, and King is going to continue moving through. Sky's actually got a straight-up Randuin's now to accompany all the other armor. MLXG has also finished up his Thornmail, sorry, and looking to build some sort of armor items. Got a lot of health and armor still sitting in there. I mean, the armor across the board, the items in general here for King, just absolutely massive.
And the damage, that's the big issue, is they're able to build all this armor with the big damage, and the Trinity Force Irelia's done for damage. Corki's massive at this point, has the Last Whisper to complement those first 3 items. The item pickups are there, and even the defensive choices on some of the offensive options. It's just so difficult for IG to win a fight. But King's big thing is that when it comes to engage, they have perhaps the flash ultimate from Morgana, and then she has the Zhonya's option, or they have to get a pick with Assassins. They need to move their pink wards into the IG jungle if they want to get that real decisive pick and finish this game.
Yep, they're going to take the tier 2 now. That's 6 turrets felled now, and Sky's actually going to make it 7. Inhibitor turret will fall in the bottom. Irelia just intractable from that bottom, and Kitties finds hook onto Assassin, but the Black Shield's going to help out. Cacao maybe thinking about going onto lane with the Black Shield then, but Pokemon has to peel off here, and Sky just doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He's going to back away. He probably would have easily dueled Pokemon. He's 3 levels ahead of Pokemon, and of course a bevy of items ahead. In terms of gold, it's disgusting. It's 4,500 gold is the lead for this Irelia. IG, they're trying to look for a pick, but I'm not sure this is a fight they want to take.
I mean, Cacao needs to find something here, but he keeps getting denied. Morgana has been the bane of Cacao, it feels like, this particular game, just denying so many good kicks. Sky actually going to go in. Pokemon getting solo, but Rookie going to try and change the tide. Can he find it? Sky still so tanky. Exhaust coming to us. Pokemon going to move back in. Doesn't use the ulti. That's actually pretty key, and Rookie finally slays him.
Yeah, but Rookie has to back away and heal, and you see how much damage is coming to the top turret. The minion wave control from King has been wonderful this game. A lot of it has to do with the fact that Pokemon is simply outmatched, cannot split push versus Sky, and this bottom has been completely pushed in for the last 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah, Pokemon almost 31 minutes in, still hasn't finished his Frozen Heart.
No, I mean, 70 CS behind is not perhaps complete disaster, but just doesn't have the gold to show for it because they haven't been picking up objectives, they haven't been picking up turrets. We can see the gank rush set up in top, but they'll probably just back away and pick up some items.
Yeah, looks like Cacao Rookie just going to hang out there, take a few creeps, and they'll try and push these minions back out. So they actually kept some of their base intact. The top inhibitor turret didn't fall, and that will regen relatively swiftly here. Kid going to go back now as well. Looks like a Blade of the Ruin King, actually, his next build.
It's still not the Ezreal build we're looking for. Of course, Mana Moon wasn't realistic to be picked up this game because they have so much early game, but...
Rookie's in trouble there. Can he do it again? Gonna go in, dashes around the creeps. He can't quite find the Q. Ignite taking an MLXG gets an easy kill.
Yeah, no Cacao to give him a bit of support, but no real outplay potential coming on to Assassin MLXG right there. Will they be able to take the turret? They don't have Corki with them, but they might try to brute force it.
I mean, Sky's down. He's already looking on maybe 1v5 IG. They're gonna take the turret. Sky goes straight in, actually. That's basically 3v5 there by King, and they are just taking over this game. In fact, they've already taken over. Cacao going to jump back in. Kitties get shredded down. Knockups and charms there. Just take him out. Inhibitor falls in the top, looking to go in the mid, and possibly the bot as well. IG have virtually no base left.
Yeah, their base is completely in tatters, and it's just so easy for King to fit in this cost-effective armor in their item builds across the board. Even the Zhonyas are now adding a Glacial Shroud on top of it is the Morgana, really just rubbing it in the face of IG. There's just so little option for them to come back into the game. It's very clean. It's very nice rotational play coming from King. It's kind of the King we've been looking for all weekend after their big win over LGD. They don't have it yet, but, I mean, even the 5th Dragon, it's 5 seconds away. What are IG going to do to stop that?
I mean, Cacao is on a mission down towards the bottom of the map. He's at least going to try and make it competitive, but King will shred this dragon to pieces so quickly, and they might try and find something. Pokemon actually going in. They know they have to fight. Cacao going to try and make something of it. Can he steal it? He can! He gets the first dragon finally. King don't get their 5th.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to keep engaging. This might be a problem, but very split is king. There are 3 kills to be had here for IG.
They need to kick someone, but they can't quite find it. Need to line up Rookie if they can. The tower, still there, get it to none. Kick out, kicks him back. The Rookie gets the ultimate. He gets destroyed by King's damage. Now the rest of King dive back in. Assassin goes in massive and slays Kid, and it's just carnage on the Rift. King rip IG to shreds. 5-0, Rek'Sai vaults into the base, and that's game.
You have to think there's going to be a surrender. They might even be able to finish out the game here. There was the potential for a pick, but Kakao couldn't get the big kick in to get an engage. They took too long. The cavalry arrived, and IG, we really marveled at their early game plays. Kakao and Rookie doing some wonderful things on that Lee Sin and Yasuo, but credit to King for their performance. Finally getting that big win. They had their 6-game weekend, only managed to get 1-game win, but they needed that for their confidence moving forward.
And it was a strong win here against a team that looked very solid, and that was a very fun, brawly game, but credit to King. They were supposed to be the early game team, and finally